The Michelin Star process is a unique aspect of the hospitality industry. There's really no health equivalent, and I'd ask the question whether we could use one. Zooming out and looking at the broader physio landscape, perhaps there is a need to differentiate quality over quantity. Not every clinic is going to get chef's hats from the Michelin Man. Many won't even make the guidebook, and perhaps that's not their aim either. I spend a lot of my time thinking about 2030 and what that might look like for health businesses. It's nice to get beyond COVID and the short-term fluctuations in gas prices. Private practice land has changed a lot since I started in 2012. This evolution will no doubt continue. The rate of change will in fact speed up, especially with the development of artificial intelligence. I believe a completely different ecosystem is being built in Australia. The fundamental philosophies are also starting to diverge. This scares me, but also excites me. I love purpose-driven practices, and I see a great future for these businesses. However, I also see problems for those stuck in between. It's an uneven playing field for the humble small business owner. This is something I'm hoping to address with my services, by the way. Many of the big players have already started their tilts for market dominance, including large private equity and the health funds themselves. How this dance plays out will dictate a large proportion of our industry come the end of the decade. Now, let's have a look at the 4 different types of clinics operating in today's market, and I'll break these down with a comparison with the hospitality industry. I don't mean to be nasty about this, it's a broad generalisation. There are great clinicians everywhere. Even pubs have Michelin star chefs these days. One should never judge a book by its cover, and perhaps that's my bias. As a card-carrying lefty, I tend to be anti-big business. Do with that information what you will. If there's a paradox in me, however, it's that I'm pro-individual social values, but also pro-enterprise. These values don't tend to sit together within the political landscape. I've also spent enough time in the public sector to know that that is probably not the answer to the world's problems. And I'm happy to declare that I tend to be biased towards boutique cafes and restaurants over McDonald's. Please don't take it personally if you're in the firing line here. I used to work at McDonald's, literally. There are always some upsides, like free chicken nuggets. This is pretty harsh, but I can also see how quickly this can happen, is happening. Several physio practices are now owned and operated by large private equity firms. A number are also owned and run by the very health funds whose clients frequent them. It's inevitable within these models to see a profit over people dynamic seep in. They might be able to cover this up, but come reporting season on the ASX, it's all about the bottom line. Purpose within physio can get completely lost within these ecosystems. It has to be about making money. Again, money isn't the devil here. Money makes the world go round. Operating at scale. For those firms, it's about operating efficiency and it's about market dominance. The McDonald's franchise is one of the most successful across the globe, and its success is down to its reproducibility. Stores are staffed by 15-year-old kids with 19-year-old managers. If you're on your P's, you can lead. This is a great goal in business, to have a service that's easily replicated. It takes little to no training to be able to produce consistently over and over again. And I see this happening with mass market clinics, particularly with their leveraged positions to be able to take over prime locations. They can hire and train new grads at will and include sign-on bonuses for that fact. At scale, I don't think they will long-term provide good wages, and like McDonald's will revert towards awards, particularly as the recession starts to bite. They also can't really offer work-life balance. This is the opposite of corporate capitalism and the values that go with it. More patient consults, more dollars through the door, wanting lower cost price points for their own patients. The money flows cyclically as the corporate machine awakens. It's hard to believe that the ACCC allows health funds to own the very clinics that service their clients. It's synonymous with Dracula and his blood bank. Pubs tend to dominate the outer suburban areas. They've often been around for a long time, they're accessible and they're cheap. 20 minutes in, a bit of hands-on, some electro and a few exercises, and then the next patient and the next, Monday to Friday, morning until night. The churn and burn model. Like a bain-marie, you just pick and choose what goes on your plate. You can get a pretty good deal for a palmy and pot for Queensland viewers. You'll walk out feeling pretty good about life too, and chances are it is far more cost effective for that dopamine hit. These clinics exist for a reason. They cater to the masses. And let's be honest, they are highly profitable, a great investment. My entrepreneurial hat is off to those who have built themselves a passive income stream. But they lack something which I find hard to explain. Similar to pubs with rooms full of pokies machines, it's pretty easy to make money from reverse ATMs. I'm a big fan of the local owner-operated enterprise. Traditionally, these are small clinics with only a handful of clinicians, perhaps around 3 rooms and a small gym. This was my enterprise, a powerhouse of only 84 square metres. The focus is very much on providing top quality service, ensuring the owner's brand remains strong. It's cosy, intimate, and the care that goes into the treatment is always top-notch. It's the care one would give to their own child to ensure their hair is combed, shoes tied tight before heading off to school. But that balance is hard to manage. The owner tends to be head chef and also run front of house. Too often stuck between a rock and a hard place, balancing high quality service with putting out enough dishes to make ends meet. And the baristas tend to come and go a bit too often at the moment. It's a great dream to run a cafe, but it's harder than it looks, especially when you pay all the penalty rates. This is the pinnacle of small business for me. It's still small enough to be niche, but it's champagne quality. For an owner, it comes with more financial freedom. She might even be able to get a proper holiday every now and again. The clinic is large but not too big, more robust in nature and able to ride the bumps of a few staff comings and goings. The owner can enjoy working towards bigger picture, purpose-driven goals, whilst looking to systematise the business to one day step away. It creates a powerhouse environment for long-term success and the ability to never look over one's shoulder at the local McDonald's. This type of enterprise is what I drive people to producing. Purpose-built clinics driven by values ever evolving with the culinary trends. Top clinics deserve Michelin stars, but there is an irony to all this. As clinics get larger or start to scale, maintaining quality is very challenging. And even if you do manage, there is only one exit strategy. The people with deep enough pockets are private equity and health funds. The path is actually a circle, round and round. The Michelin Guide was actually developed by a French tyre company. The goal was to encourage tourists to drive further in an effort to boost tyre sales. Its evolution as a culinary guide is actually quite random. We ought to encourage patients to drive further too though. Perhaps we need a little red book to point out the quality clinics. I wonder what the Michelin man would say if he walked into your clinic tomorrow. Would you get a mention in the guidebook? And what are the qualities that deserve chef's hats in the physio industry? Is it consistent client care or exceptional customer service? Perhaps it's using interesting ingredients and pairing them with natural wines. Food for thought, nonetheless.